From Ficco's Bowladrome in Franklin, Massachusetts, it's New England Candlepins Winter Tournament 2014. In our fourth elimination show, Brandon Marks of East Boston rolls against Franklin's Chris Parkinson. Then in game 2, returning Mike Legendre faces off against challenger Jonathan Boudreau of Lynn. Now let's roll with your hosts Ed Dunn and Jay Horrigan.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Ficco's Bowladrome. This is New England Candlepins. Alongside Jay Horrigan, I'm Ed Dunn. We're here for round 4 of our series championship, pitting the 4 seed of Brandon Marks, taking on the 13 seed of Chris Parkinson. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Congratulations on making it. Chris, you're here for another time with us, and you have a chance now to really set yourself up in a different place. How do you feel from warm-up between last time and now?
I feel the same as was, last time. I felt pretty good warming up, and see how it goes when when it really counts. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
There's been a lot of action on these lanes, and the pins have sometimes been good and sometimes they haven't been good. But with the weather we've got outside, we're hopeful we can all stay up on our 2 feet. Do you feel the wetness from outside might have an issue on the lane tonight?
As long as I keep the shoes dry, and keep focused, and see how it goes,
And Brandon, you're coming in as the number 4 seed. Have you bowled here often at Ficco? Is this your first time? How often have you been here?
I bowled in this tournament the last time. That was probably my first time here. But it's a nice alley.
Okay. How'd you feel in your warm-ups?
Felt good. It's a true house. You just got to put the ball in there and see what happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're looking forward to a very good match. Our scores have been going up each week. So
we are 10 frames to the finish. Gentlemen, shake hands and let's get rolling. It's time for match number 1. Chris Parkinson will start us off on lane 15. Smooth delivery into the 3-6 pocket, leaving the 1-2-7-10 with some wood alongside the 2 and against the 7. Just a bit outside.
Chris comes in as our 13 seed, and he comes in with a 3-game total of 353.
Head pin high and around everything, comes back and clips the 10 pin for an 8 box.
And Ed, you can explain, we're doing it differently this series where the bowlers is switching back and forth right between 15 and 16. That's where a little confusion, because I think Chris was going to bowl his second frame there on 15.
He was, because our last show we did 2 frames per side.
Right.
And then switched back and forth. And somewhere between the last episode and this series, we were made aware that one bowler was getting 6 frames on one side and 4 on the other. So to make it equal and fair, they're going to bowl 1 on each side each time.
I like it.
And not everybody got the memo. But that's okay.
We're joined this week, as we have been the previous 2 weeks, by Dan the Gothman Gothier, who is also one of the hosts of Candlepin Generations, a show on Nessun, which has their season premiere on February 5th, which may have already taken place by the time this show airs, so you may have already seen it.
We have filmed them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so you mean it'll air to you?
Yeah, this actual show may not air till after your premiere, but it goes for 9 weeks, so it will still be on air.
1-3-6 for a nice spare for Brandon Marks.
Brandon is as hot as any bowler recently. Doesn't surprise me at all that he started off with a spare. Expect him to have a big game.
Strong on the head pin, but plenty of action around, leaving the 6-7-10. And a piece of wood off into the corner. Just outside the 6 pin, picking up 1. And grabs the corner for a 9. 26-17. Brandon is in the lead after 2. So Dan, with Jay being right that your show would have premiered already probably by the time this round gets on our airwaves. Give the viewers a chance to let them know what they'd be watching if they tuned in to watch your show.
Sure. It's the 11th season we've been doing it. It features a lot of the best kids in New England. We travel around New England and have different semifinals, different houses, and we take the champions in 3 different age groups, a boy and a girl, and they all compete on our Nesson episodes, which will start airing again February 5th. And you'll see a lot of our championships, 11 and under, 12 to 14, and 15 to 18. They bowl mixed doubles, and it's a lot of fun for them. Bowling for gift cards, giant trophies. We've really seen some huge talent emerge from the youth, and since we've been doing it for 11 years, some of them are now bowling with the pros. We've had a couple of them here today. We're going to see one next week on your next episode, as a matter of fact. One of our best ever, Jonathan Boudreau. So, and it's open to anybody. You know, our semifinals are publicized so that people can go to our website. It's currently www.newgeneration.com, and they can see our schedule for any upcoming year. Welcome to bring their kids down. $20 to try out, and we do the tryouts and tapings all in one day.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Sidewall action coming around, and it's a strike for Chris Parkinson. That's one of those, well, I was expecting to have at least a few pins up there to throw, and by the time I picked my ball up, the crowd was clapping, so I guess they all went down.
Chris had his back turned to it. Didn't
Yes,
even
he
see
did.
it.
Pleasant
All of a sudden, he
surprise.
turned around. So, Dan, if they go to your website, they'll be able to find out where the next tryouts and semifinals and
That's
everything
right.
are.
Since we're primarily done with most of our regular episodes for this year, the only thing we'll still have up there is the team event, which we have late in May.
Right.
But they'll, we'll have our next year's schedule up there at some point during the summer.
Yep.
We put all of our episodes up there so people can go and watch any of our archived episodes. Can also go on YouTube and search for either Candlepin for Kids or Candlepin New Generation and find 11 years worth of exciting episodes out there. It's good
That's
stuff.
great. That's great. And again, folks, that show is on Nesson. I think, Dan, you had said it. The first airing is at 5 o'clock.
Yep. It'll be a Wednesday.
Yep.
And we air 9 consecutive weeks, which is 50% longer season than we had last year. We're going up. The first 3 episodes will feature youth and pros bowling together, and then it's all youth for the last 6 weeks.
Excellent.
That's tremendous.
My favorite are the little kids, like watching the little guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got the biggest talent age right now for us seems to be the 12-year-olds. There's some really strong 12-year-olds coming out.
Oof.
Brandon plays the 1-2-10, no wood, gets the 1 and 2, but the last piece falls into the channel and does not clip the 10. Great try. He was opposite of strike and put up a 9. So after 4 boxes, it's Brandon leading 43-37 and pins down, but Chris Parkinson does have 2 bonus balls to throw as he steps up on lane 15. One, 7, 8, 10 with wood behind the head pin and in front of the 8.
It's almost the jackpot shot, the 1-7-10. We give our kids a chance to make that.
Head pin high around the corner, clips everything but the 10 pin. A great try. And leaves the 10 pin for a 9. It's great that they have stuff for kids now to see what happens. And early we had some birthday parties in the kids league over there, and they saw the lights and the cameras and all these big men bowling and thinking, hey, this looks like a great thing.
There's a travel league now for kids too, something that they didn't have when I was a kid. There seem to be more and more opportunities for kids who take it seriously. I think the next step is probably to just try to target the more casual kid to increase the size of the youth leagues. It is the future of the game, so it's something we're always working on. You get video games and soccer and everything else going on now. You're competing with a lot of things you didn't have to compete with in the past to try to draw the kids in.
Right.
It is a fun
box for
sport for kids, I think, personally, because unlike 10-pin, which may be its biggest competitor, any kid of any size can hold these balls. You can have a 4-year-old out there holding these balls, and they can do just fine. And in bowling alleys, a lot of them now have bumpers for the little kids.
Right.
It's fun for everybody.
Now, do you let your 4-year-olds use bumpers on the show? Or do they
We
have to throw it
don't.
60
They
feet?
do have to. They do have to throw it 60 feet. There's no bumpers. our record for the youngest competitor ever to people have to earn their spot on the show by winning a roll-off. We have had a 4-year-old make it once. He bowled outstanding in the semifinals, averaged about 85 for 3 games. Which is, we used to have a rule you had to bowl one hand, but we changed it and we said if you're good enough to get on the show with 2 hands, by all means.
It. Why not? That's phenomenal. And the 4 horsemen left. Picks up 3, leaving 1 for a 9.
And as I said, we see all types. You see some of the kids who are 17 or 18 who really are, they for the most part couldn't be bowling with the adults now.
Yep.
And some of them throw the ball really hard, and some fantastic young women bowlers. But I'm very excited about the crop we have at age 12 and 13. There's just phenomenal kids, both boys and girls at that age. That so in another 6 or 7 years, you'll be seeing some of them. Hopefully the show will still be going. I can warn you about them before they come up. Give everybody a heads up.
As Brandon comes to lane 16, we had a piece of wood in the gutter from previous frames, so we had to clear that out. Now we're bowling for real. And he leaves the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Plays the head pin full, leaves the 2, 4.
Tight match. 1 pin to tie the match up, 2 to pull ahead by 1.
And a 10. So at the end of 6th, it's now a 1-pin lead for Brandon, 62 to 61. As Chris Parkinson comes back up on lane 15. Light on the 1-3 pocket, but plenty of action to leave the 2, 5, 7. Right on it for a spare.
Well played. Well played.
I
Right
think he
inside
knew it.
the 2-pin.
He knew it.
Ball carry, the 7-pin, perfectly placed.
That's a nice feeling in this sport when you've let the ball go and it's not even down there yet and you know you made it.
Right.
You give it a little arm pump at the end, that one like that.
I bet he knew he got that one too, because that is a strike.
Timely. 4 boxes to go. That puts some pressure on Brandon.
2 marks after leaving up 2 opens and saying, I threw a 6 box. Watch this. I'm going to throw up a spare and I'm going to put a strike on top of it.
Sometimes a box like that just makes you just angry enough to go out there and throw a couple hammers.
Superlative bowling. Brandon steps up now into the 3-6 pocket, but we got some spinning up there, and now we have the 1, 2, 7, 10 with wood pressed against the 2-pin and a piece behind it that's facing the 10-pin that could go with a pocket hit. Or go if you don't hit anything. Brandon played the wood only on that, but spun out the front 3, leaving the 10-pin, and picks up the single for the 10. Well, this is coming down to the end, so Brandon's in a little bit of a time gap now. He's got 3 frames left, and he's opposite a 20 box and a strike ahead of him. He leaves the 2, 4, 6, 7.
It's a shame. I think he was hoping for a better leave on that pocket hit.
Yeah.
Picks up 2, leaving the 2, 6. And picks up 1. As we make the turn from home, Chris Parkinson leads 91 to 81 on pins down, but Chris does have 2 bonus balls to throw. First ball leaves the 4 horsemen left, minus the head pin, plus the 8 pin. 2, 4, 7, 8 with some wood out there. Plays it right on the cap and makes the spare. Nice shot. 3 marks in a row for Chris.
He gets a well-deserved round of applause
Absolutely.
from a growing crowd back there.
Yeah.
I think I heard them say the last employee to arrive to work has to stand outside with a sandwich sign that says, roll off inside, come in and support our bowlers.
I don't think you're going to get much drive-by traffic today. There's a lot of snow going on.
Well, at these speeds, they got plenty of time to turn and stop and pull in and see the snowman that's probably out there now holding the sign up.
Chris is going to put himself solidly in the 120s.
Yeah.
Fill a 4 on the spare and an 8 in the box for a 123.
I don't know about these guys, but I always feel like if you're over 120, you got to feel pretty satisfied usually. Or how about if you just win, you feel satisfied? Take a 101 win.
I wished I could have. Brandon on the head pin for a strike in the 9th frame.
Yeah, he literally needs another, but he got a 1 before he can get 2. We're due to get a double.
Haven't seen a double yet in this series.
That'd make for an exciting finish here.
That would be.
Gets my vote.
Will we have our first double? Not tonight. Chris Parkinson will advance. 4 horsemen right plus the 8 pin almost picked it up.
So that's another low seed advancing over a top
Another
seed of
low
13.
advance. 13. Takes
13
out the
over
4,
four.
123 to 110. Chris Parkinson is going to take on the winner of our next match, which will feature Jonathan Boudreau and Michael Legendre.
So that at the end of that match, that's Chris Parkinson, our 13 seed, is going to advance with a 123-110 victory over 4 seed Brandon Marks. And we'll be back after this.
Welcome back for match number 2 here at New England Candlepins, coming from Ficco's Bowladrome. Today we have the 5 seed of Michael Legendre taking on the 12 seed of Jonathan Boudreau. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Mike, I'll start with you. You're coming into this now as the 5 seed, and you're taking on one of our best youth bowlers that have come up into the young pro ranks at such a young time. How do you feel going in?
It's just it's just a matter of if you're bowling good, you're bowling good. You got to hit the head pin. If you don't hit the head pin, you're not gonna bowl good. So, and that's it. I've been bowling here since I was 4 years old, so I know how the house is, and it can play to your favor, it cannot play to your favor. That's it.
You've seen some of the matches while you're waiting to come up, and a lot of those balls aren't hitting the head pin, but pins are falling.
Right. You just got to hit the head pin. You got to be in the 1-3 pocket or the 1-2 pocket, and that's it. So.
And Jonathan, you come in today as the 12th seed, but you do come in with the target on your back as our defending series champion.
Yeah, I mean, that'll take some work to defend. I mean, I got some top bowlers today. Mike's pretty much a top bowler around here, and I know that, so I'm going to have a big string to beat him.
Absolutely, yeah. Mike is one of the best bowlers. He's been on our shows in our tournament all 3 times that we've had him. He's done a great job. But we're fortunate to have you come back to defend your title. Interesting, as it shows our competition has gone up every time we've had it. You're our defending champion, yet you come back as the 12th seed.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes in the roll-off, I mean, that's the key. Right, the roll-off was a bit of a struggle, but I was able to get in. I just got in, so last time it wasn't a struggle, so, things vary, things change.
Right, and now it's just a single game versus the roll-off. You had to roll 3 games to qualify for the TV show. So.
Right, and we are 10 frames to the finish. Gentlemen, shake hands, and let's get rolling.
We're back for match number 2. Jonathan Boudreau is going to start us off on lane 16. Good luck to both of you. As you said, Jay, in the open, Jonathan is our defending series champion from last time, and he comes in now as the 12 seed based on his scores from when he qualified.
Hit a 354 3-game total in the roll-off.
Starts off with a 2-7-9-10 and picks up just a 7 pin at the end for a 7 box. And no thought process necessary. Rapid fire motion to lane 15. Fluid, almost like his approach started on lane 16.
It's a trademark of Jonathan's. He wastes no time. He just likes to get the ball and go.
And one of our other southpaws in our competition.
Second one.
He's probably the most successful competitor in the history of our kids show. In fact, so successful that he literally dropped out of his youth status after age 15 to complete the adults. Probably the only kid I would ever say I would recommend it to. I mean, I generally would not recommend that to people because you're no longer eligible to bowl in kids events if you do that.
Right.
Has already put up scores higher than anything I've put up in my 30-something year career.
How did he do when he first made that move?
Great. Some people didn't think he'd do good in the first year, but he had to actually even wait an extra year after he did it to bowl in the Pro Series because they had a 16-or-over rule. But he paced most of the events, and in almost every one he paced, he would have been in the top 8, top 4.
And who do we have up bowling right now, Jay?
This is Mike Legendre. And for those of you that have watched our show over the length that we've had it, Mike's last name has been a challenge for me every time I've ever tried to pronounce it, and it has been a running joke for everybody involved with this, except for me.
And I think except for one Mike Legendre.
Yeah, except for Mike as well.
Mike's on my Friday team as well, and we were saying last night that he throws, out of all 16 competitors, I think he throws the ball most suited for this house, and that's the prime example right there.
Yes.
I think you're going to see a lot of boxes where his ball just mixes the pins extremely well here.
Absolutely. And on the head pin, straight for the spare. After 2, it's 16-15, but Mike Legendre will have a bonus ball to throw. Jonathan Boudreau now up again on lane 16. Right in the 1-3 pocket, but the wood goes around the Sears pin, the 4 pin.
To give the home viewers an idea of how good he's become so far, in last year's World Championships for all of Canada and the U.S., he placed 2nd overall in high average out of 200 bowlers from Canada and the U.S., all adults. So, I mean, he's there already. I'm just interested in seeing how much he'll accumulate in terms of accomplishments in his next 30 years.
Yep, brings a great resume at such a young age already. After the spare, he did have a piece of wood in the gutter extra, so we got rid of that. That was not his third ball. He does have a spare. On the head pin again, spinning around, leaving only the 3 pin. I did say in the open to Mike, Jay, that even though these other matches, the ball has not always hit the head pin, but has gotten some very good shots and leads.
Right.
Mike almost had the example right there of not hitting the head pin and getting a strike, knocking the head pin down last. Where he had said it needs to be, you got to be in the pocket beyond the head pin to do well here, but he wasn't, and he still got a spare out of it. Jonathan with a pair of spares with 9 drops in each fill. Putting the pressure on
Mike just has such a smooth ball and smooth motion.
And the half Worcester right to fill a spare. That's a tough one. And through the hole again. There was a rumor back in their younger days, because he has a twin brother, Steve, that when one wasn't doing so well, they'd go to the bathroom, and the other one would come out and finish the match and try to help him get a better score.
I need to find a twin.
Yeah.
What was inches away from a triple strike ends up being a 2-box, 3 balls in the 3-9 pocket. That's a tough frame to put that in, because like you said earlier, Dan, you can get into a funk. You can have a bad frame, but you don't have 3 games in this match to turn it around. You've got 7 more boxes, and you're up against a spare.
Yeah, and there's probably no bowler I'd want to be up against to do that less than J-Bomb means. So we called him in our show J-Bomb. He throws so many bombs. And it makes your single pins tougher, as Mike just found out.
Absolutely. How many times, Jay?
Too many times.
Twice.
Yep, twice. You know, you just put the pressure.
You
did, and I missed that.
For you.
You did. I missed that. Well, that's the story of my life, and we'll get into that later. Well, we don't have enough time, actually.
Jonathan high on the pocket for the 1-3, but still plenty of spin action with that left-handed shot, and gets enough rotation on the ball to leave himself to 210. 10 pins rocking and wiggling. The wood said hello, but it will not say goodbye.
This is the type of shot it used to be fun to watch him play.
I can see why.
Oh,
There's the spare.
he just makes shot after shot. You can really learn something from watching where he plays them and how he goes about his business.
Absolutely.
You can learn that you never let your foot off a person's throat either when you have them.
I fell victim to that last month when I had to play him. After winning my first match, I lost the second one humblingly to a person who went on to win the whole thing. And 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, and I could not carry the headpin. I've always said if I'm in a competitive event and I lose, let that person that beat me win the whole thing.
Right.
That means
Right.
nobody could have beaten him, and I got
Right.
no excuse. No one can give me an excuse. In a 10 box.
He'll beat himself up over that missed opportunity.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that's where the youth will come into play, and not having the experience of many of those to be frustrated with, like we have in our 30 years of bowling.
Perfectionist.
Mike Legendre back up on the headpin, strong in the 1-3 pocket. Rolling around, wiggling. We've got the 5-7 with Wood primely placed in front of the 5-pin.
Wood turned out to be very favorable now.
And right on it for the mark.
Glad I didn't jinx him. I think I said something about that last match about favorable wood. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's true, Dan.
On a spare.
Ooh, look at that. Reno right.
The Reno right.
1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. Mike only picks up the 2 in the back. 4 left to shoot, 4 for a 10. Sidewall action comes back to get the 7-pin, but leaves the 4. After 6 boxes, it's Jonathan Boudreau, 78. Michael Legendre, 52. Neither one is on a mark, and it is a 26-pin advantage with 4 frames to go.
Still doable by Mike.
Absolutely doable. But when you're up against a
But-
powerful bowler like Jonathan Boudreau, you don't have a big window, but there is a window still.
John didn't want this pin to
Jonathan,
come up.
Nope.
yeah.
For a
Makes
lefty,
it
that
harder for
wood
a
is not
lefty.
favorable.
That's
Yeah.
not a good spot at all.
Gotta play it wrong.
Oh, he tried to sneak by
Yep.
it. Very hard to do with the big hook.
It's almost a shot you gotta play wrong to get it right.
I did think he was going to get by it. It was a
And the 10.
So a 10, but not a spare, so. Helps Mike a little bit.
So Mike does have an open door in the 7th. Strong again on the headpin in the 8th, leaving the 7-pin with some wood turning, and it does not move.
That's ugly.
It is ugly.
And that does not help.
Cap it and hope for the best.
You got you got to cap it, hope for the best. And that's
Oh,
what he
nice.
did, and he got the ball off the wall to take that pin down.
Two corner pins for Jonathan and 2 pretty difficult woods in front of him.
Absolutely.
1 out of 2 you got to be happy with.
Yeah.
So now Mike Legendre does need 2 marks on this setup. And he's got a chance for 1 here with some extra mixing going around up there. 1-3-9 with wood solid against the 3. Another piece rolling behind it. Angling away from the 9. Played the cap of the wood, but could not get the headpin.
Mike just a little bit off today. And in 1 string, you don't have a time to recover sometimes if you're a little off.
Right.
Well, you have time to recover if your opponent gives you an open door.
Yeah,
When your opponent's
yeah.
Jonathan Boudreau,
Right.
who won this last time, and you're down 27 with 3 boxes to go. There's not a lot of room here. It's almost academic, but it is not mathematically impossible yet. But 1 more mark for Jonathan, and that'll pretty much do it. Into the corner, takes out the 7-pin, leaving only the 2. Wood rolling up near it, but clearly out of his way. Unfortunately, he let that one go by. He was definitely going to need that. And play the carom off the wood for the 10. As we make the stretch for home, it's 98-71. Jonathan Boudreau over Mike Legendre with a bonus ball to throw for Jonathan. Off the head pin, but still comes back to get the 4 horsemen on the spin. On the right, leaving only the 7-8 with a piece of wood angling toward the 9, but in front of the 8 pin. Almost carried it for the spare.
Wow. This young man can bowl.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. And a 10 box.
If he didn't get off to a slow start the first 2 boxes, it would be
Now,
a more impressive game.
Right.
I want to remind everybody watching at home that if you're trying out for the show, we take the top 16 bowlers to qualify for our final tournament on Makes Television. There are 5 bowlers left after this match. These are their seedings: 9, 11, 12, 13, and 15.
Yeah.
That shows you the talent that we have of the bowlers that are on the bottom of our ladder. Also are able to come up and perform in front of the lights and camera when it's game day.
You're right.
So Mike Legendre steps up for his final 2. He needs 54 in 2 boxes. It requires a double strike, if not a triple. And that ball will make my last comment officially correct now. That we have 5 bowlers left, ranked 9, 11, 12, 13, and 15 out of 16 possible entries.
Amazing.
And a beautiful spare for Mike Legendre.
Good nice shot.
Superlative shot to fill that
Use
frame
both
with a
caps.
spare. 2 caps of the wood. Impressive. Now, if I told you that Phil Clough, Dave Chestercove, Jonathan Boudreau, Steve Reno, and Chris Parkinson were left for our championship, you would never think those were 5 of the bottom 8 seeds.
That's true.
Because the names alone say, I'm one of the top bowlers. But in a 3-game roll-off, anybody can get 360 pins. Fill of 6 for Mike with a spare. 1 more ball to throw.
Good to see Mike finishing strong.
Absolutely. You know, mathematically, you're not going to win, but you want to finish strong for yourself
Sure,
because it just sets you up for the next time you pick up a ball and you try to come back and better yourself. And unfortunately, he stepped over the foul line, so it'll end up being a 10 for the box instead of a spare. By a score of 125-97, Jonathan Boudreau advances to take on Chris Parkinson for a chance to bowl in our finale.
Absolutely. And we'll be back right after this.
We're back for our championship match for this series, and right now we have the 12 seed of Jonathan Boudreau taking on the 13 seed of Chris Parkinson. Chris, Jonathan, congratulations getting to this far. You've upset your opponents to this point, so the seedings really aren't holding much water because you're taking over the higher numbered seeds. Now it's the finals. How do you feel going in?
I'm feeling pretty good. My first game, I was off a little bit, and I needed those marks in the middle of the game, and I got them, and now I'm standing here. So, but now I got no easy task beside me because a couple months ago he knocked me off. So, time for me to get a little redemption, hopefully.
Well, I don't want to say that I'm rooting for you because Jonathan knocked me off as well, but it just depends on who bowls better on that match.
Exactly. That's all it is. I saw him the game before, and he's on. So I got no easy task.
Well, as our defending series champion, Jonathan's knocked off everybody. So, Jonathan, another great match by you. you were up there. You got a number of marks there. You were able to really put the hammer down. Mike had a couple of balls that just didn't hit where he wanted them to go.
Yeah, I lucked out. He had a tough string. It's not like him to throw a string like that. So I know that the ball I threw there, I'm going to have to capitalize on some of the mistakes I made to win this match. I think I'm going to need some more to win this one.
Yeah, this should be a very good match, and actually you're going to be the high seed in this match as the 12th seed in the overall tournament, which is interesting. So.
With 10 frames to the finish, shake hands, gentlemen, and let's determine our championship.
Chris Parkinson is going to start us off in our championship match on lane 15. Good luck to both of you. Strong on the head pin, 1-3 pocket, leaving my friends the 4-7. Straight in on missed. The 4. And a 9 box.
Again, those single pins.
Single pins. Every pin counts in this contest. We've been saying it for a long time. We saw in a previous episode, Jay, that Dave Jestikov talked to us about not watching the other person bowl. I'm watching Jonathan, and he's not doing it either.
Right, right.
So is he pulling a Dave Jestikov, or is Dave Jestikov pulling a Jonathan Boudreau?
That's a chicken or the egg thing.
You're making him laugh now. Some good action.
I said he wasn't looking. I didn't say he wasn't listening. Chris punches out just the 6 pin and now comes back with a good save to leave the 1-8 for a 10. And a 9 box.
So an 18 for Chris to start.
And Jonathan's going to watch the arrows blink. Says he's on the left side. So he's on lane 15, ready to go.
Jonathan just picking up where he left off.
Leaving the 3-7 with Wood firmly placed against the 3, angled right at the 7 pin, and slides it right over for the spare.
This feels good to start with a spare in the first box.
Although you said it takes the first couple to warm up.
Well, yeah, but they're on their second match now, so they should be beyond that. When you're coming off the street, yeah, the first box is always tough.
Okay. Good save on that one, Dan. 7 fill, leaving the 3-4-10.
Although the viewers are watching it a week apart. Jonathan's only bowling 5 minutes apart for his last game.
Oh, no, they're watching it 5 minutes apart, too, because this is all grouped into one
Oh, is it?
episode.
This is one episode.
These 3 games
it's like a marathon.
Well, not a marathon, but these 3
games
are the 1 hour. Yep.
Although when Jonathan's bowling, it's not
a short marathon.
It's not a 1 hour. Yeah, it's about a 23-minute show.
After 2, it's 26-18. Jonathan Boudreau over Chris Parkinson, who's now back up on lane 15. And now the half Worcester right. His first initial ball netted him 1. This time it netted him 2, so he is improving. Punch on the left side, now a couple more down, leaving the 1-4-6-7 for 10 with no wood.
Ooh.
And the punch through means nothing fell, so we have a 6 box for Chris in the 3rd. Not something you want to do when you're facing.
And that's not something we see often with these guys.
Unless you tune back into my match.
That was weeks ago. Weeks ago, Dan.
It was weak, I'll give you that.
So it's not too soon anymore?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I think he's going to make it.
Ooh, 4-6-7, no wood. Excellent try for spare, leaving just the 6 pin.
And like you said, with the 6 instead of the 10, you have to hit that extra light to catch it. But that's the type of shot that if you make, it can psych you up for your next 2 boxes.
Absolutely. Jonathan Boudreau back up now on lane 15.
Doing some housekeeping.
That's a habit of mine. I always do too. Push them all the way around.
He's coordinated his outfit with his bowling balls.
Mm-hmm.
That would not be me. I guarantee you that.
Ooh, 1, 3, 6, 7, hit the head pin straight on forward. Actually, he also coordinated his outfit and his bowling balls with the rest of the field from last series because they all left him all black and blue.
2 object pins and 2 punches.
Right. Well, if Chris is going to put up a 6 box, putting it up against an 8 is probably the best place to put it.
Couldn't hope for a lot more.
Strong on the 1-2 pocket, leaving just the 8 pin. Piece of wood is in front, but clearly out of his way, being a lefty.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. Coming in from the left side, doesn't have to worry about it.
Unless you wanted to use it, which
well,
he did, but it was probably
sure
a
he
ball
didn't
that got
wanna
away
use
from
I
him.
don't think, yeah.
And it's not like it blocked him. The ball would have missed. If anything, it gave him a small chance of making it.
And a 9. So after 4 boxes, it's 43-33 for Jonathan Boudreau over Chris Parkinson, who now gets back up again on lane 15, doing his own housekeeping. His first ball is not seeming to find the right pocket of choice.
No, not at all. And like I said, I know how that feels if you get into a funk and you do that for 5 or 6 boxes.
Great comeback on the second shot, leaving just a 10 pin. And that ball went into the channel before hitting the pin, therefore it is a foul. Foul button is pressed and a score of 9 in the box for Chris. Chris needs to put up marks quickly. No, Jonathan is not going to go open much longer without a mark. Great first ball now, back on the pocket. Accurate shot, leaving the 4-8. But just picks up the 8.
Chris is just off, missing the pin he needs to hit.
And in that one-string match, what happens if you find yourself still pretty close to your opponent and you're a little off, you're afraid to make a large-scale change. The most you'll risk making is a real tiny tweak, because you don't want to risk, falling too far behind. As long as it stays close, you want to just hope you can tough it out.
Right. Jonathan took a moment and cleared out the extra pin that didn't get reset on lane 16 so that he can have a smooth transition lane to lane. Now up on lane 15, delivers strong in the 1-2 pocket. Wood coming off the corner, back around the 10, grabbing the 6, pulling down the 3, but not getting the 5.
You're good with numbers.
I've been looking at this.
Very good.
Been looking at this setup for about 35 years or more.
Pentium up there.
They put me here for a reason, Dan. To count to 10.
Shot just got harder.
In a lateral order. Plays the cap this time and makes the spare. I think that's going to be a boost of adrenaline for Jonathan, because that wasn't supposed to have that kind of a leave. And to spin those pins around to leave 1, hit the cap, make the spare.
Although if you go back and look at the placement of the first ball, I think you'd have every right to expect a 9. It was a pretty well hit pocket. It just didn't look like it was going to give him a...
Just like that. Here we go again.
Similar ball, similar lead.
This time the action gets stuck in the back, and now it's the 3, 5, 6 triangle right with Wood up against the 5. That should help. And it does. 2 spares in a row for Jonathan. The end of 6. It's 70-51 pins down. Jonathan Boudreau in the lead with a bonus ball to throw. Chris Parkinson steps up on lane 15 for the 7th. Oh, straight through. Leaving, taking out the 1-8-9.
It's like getting punched in the gut. And you've been struggling to hit the head pin. You get up there, you're psyched up, you find the head pin, and you punch the 189.
Playing some side action off the 3-pin. Clipping the 4, almost getting the 6. Leaving the 2, 6, 7, 10 with wood between the 6, 10. Off the wood, gets 8. As I was speaking to your partner, Steve Reno, earlier in the other match, I was explaining to him that watching Mr. Gillis do this for so long, I realized that he was commentating, and there's a strike, speaking of which, in the 8th. For Chris. He would commentate for all of his visually impaired viewers.
Yes.
And you could literally blacken your TV screen and turn up your audio and do the dishes, and you could see the match by everything he said. So I'm doing my best to pay homage to the good soldier of our fortune and trying to emulate some of that in my description. So if you're hearing a lot of numbers, it's because the pins are numbered 1 through 10 for the viewers at home, and they're all named appropriately. So when you hear those numbers, that's telling those who cannot see the pins what's happening to them, and it's a good thing for those who can see, and it's a benefit for those that are visually challenged. Jonathan steps up now and has a 9 in the 7th box. Now he's opposite a strike, and this is either the beginning of Chris's last chance or it's the beginning of the end if he puts up another mark. 3-6 hit, leaving the 4 horsemen left plus the 8-10. Plays the cap of the head pin. We got some action in the corner. Goodbye, everybody. They're all down.
Wow.
Excellent shot.
Wow. Tremendous.
Superlative.
Not bad.
As we make the turn for home, Jonathan Boudreau leads 97-69, both with bonus balls to throw.
I get a little ho-hum watching them both for a long time.
Oh,
Chris into
nice
the pocket
shot by
heavy
Chris.
and full, but gets only the 9-pin to stay up.
Yeah.
A lot of action down there.
I mean, look how close that was to a double. It would have got him right back in the match.
And as soon as you say it, he throws the ball to take himself right back up.
Well, he almost needed the double. I think he
Right.
almost probably
Right.
felt
Yeah.
taken out when it didn't fall.
Yeah. And a 10. As Chris steps up to finish on lane 16, leaving the 1-2-10. I can hear in the background our previous champions getting warmed up for their finale coming up.
Nice effort there by Chris.
And a 9. As Jonathan comes up to finish, needing to only keep the ball on the lane one time to win, let me tease ahead our finale championship. Words I never thought I'd hear myself say. The 9 seed of Dave Chestercote will be our top seed and will face the 15 seed of Steve Reno. In our second match, Jonathan Boudreau, the 12 seed, will take on the 11 seed of Phil Clough.
Wow.
And the winner, excellent shot by Jonathan for spare, the 3-6-7-8-10. Fantastic shot for spare. The winner of that series will take home a $325 prize. The runner-up in that series will take home a $75 prize.
Yep.
And to just emulate the magnitude of what our next show is going to look like, we gave away $300 in total prize money on our last series.
Yeah.
Because our numbers grew so much, and our participation grew so much, our prize fund grew so much, We now are giving that away to the winner more so for that last string. Jonathan finishes with a 130 over Chris Parkinson with 97. He will move on, as I've said, to take on the 11th seed of Phil Clough in our championship show. Paired up with Steve Reno and Dave Chesticove, our top seed, in our finale to decide who our overall winner will be.
Right, and we'll be back to talk to our two competitors in that championship match right after this.
We're back to talk to our bowlers after that championship match. Jonathan Boudreau came out on top, 130 to 97. Jonathan, congratulations again. You advance now to our championship show, which is unfamiliar. Oh, that's right. You were in it last year. You won the whole thing. You're going to keep going on to defend your title. You had a great ball there. Some of them didn't hit where you wanted to go, but the pins still fell for you.
Yeah, a couple were off. I had a couple of breaks and had a couple of shots that didn't go, and I think I lucked out a little bit again in this one. Chris wasn't on top of his game. He usually is throwing a lot higher than what he threw, so I think I got lucky again. I lucked out.
Luck is never a problem in this match, but now you have to ask yourself, can you be that lucky next time?
Well, again, like last match, I got to capitalize on some of what I missed in these matches against these guys in the final, because this is going to be real tough to win the final. So
it'll be fun to see. Absolutely.
And Chris, it seemed like that match, you had a couple of balls you let go, you thought they were going to hit, and they just didn't seem to come through for you.
I was off the whole game, you know. I was nowhere near the headman. I mean, I got a strike, you know, but for the most part, he had his game. I didn't have my game, you know. And pretty much that sums it up. What
do you think the difference was before with your semifinal match to that championship match with Jonathan?
Accuracy. You know, just me not hitting the headman, you know, not hitting the shots I need to hit.
It's interesting how quickly that could change. It's just in a matter of minutes, a matter of a frame or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can have it, or I can not have it. You know, obviously, this game, I was way off.
Right, right. Well, it was a great match. It was a great couple of matches, 3 matches in that show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw today, and you want to see more of it, the best way to support our show and any shows like this is to contact your local cable access channel. Volunteer. You can volunteer in front of the camera, behind the camera, any way at all. I'm sure by contacting your local access channel, they have plenty of places they could use your help. And that's the best way you can do by supporting this show, is contact your local cable access, because we could always we always appreciate the help. We're always looking for help, and that's the way you support all our shows. So, Chris, as the runner-up, we do have this prize for you, a $25 cash prize as the runner-up, and congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you. I'm sure we'll see you the next time we put this series on.
All right. And Jonathan, as the winner, you get a $75 prize with a chance to increase that again, as we said, next week in our championship finale. So for all of us here at Franklin TV, along with Jay Horrigan, I'm Ed Dunn from New England Candlepins from Ficco's Bowladrome in Franklin, Massachusetts. Next time you see us, we'll be crowning our champion. So long, everybody.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors. Good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.